Hey guys and gals, got another one for you today. Today we're going to feature the Object 257, which is the Tier 9 leading up to the IS-7. And when this tank came out, I bought the T10 back knowing that the Object 277 was going to come out. 227, whatever it is, but it's off the T10 line now. And then having the T10 would automatically get you the Object 257. So I played, I think, 1 or 2 games in it, and it was okay. It wasn't like spectacular. So I decided to sell it. I needed silver at the time, and I didn't really play it that much, nor had a driver for it. So it's kind of like a Tier 9 Defender, I would say, if I had to compare it to another tank. So if people know how to dispatch this tank, the cupolas are pretty poor. Not that they're very easy to hit, but they are exposed. So especially like if you're looking down at this tank, because this isn't the tallest heavy tank, you can shoot into the cupolas. Also, if it's angled at all, you can shoot the shoulder plates, and then the lower plate is, you can pen that too. It's got spaced armor above the tracks, but then it's got this huge sloped piece of armor which can be penetrated, so it makes it kind of awkward. Like the IS-7 has that sloped armor above the spaced armor, but it isn't as gigantic as it is on here. So there are definitely some weak points on here that are worse than the IS-7, but this is a tricky tank to pen if you're not willing to spam premium rounds. If you see a 257, well, I guess I should just say, if I see a 257, I don't want to mess around with its armor angles, so I just turn my heat on and I can punch right through. And you can call me filthy for that, but you know what? People like to play the 257 because of the trolley armor that it has, and they look for people that use AP rounds. So if you're in a heavy tank, you should just accept the fact that people are going to use premium ammunition against you, and if you get frustrated about that, well, then maybe you shouldn't be in a heavy tank. So whatever. Hate messages for gold spamming when you're shooting at heavy tanks kind of just makes me laugh. Like, you want me to play as a disadvantage just because you're in a heavy tank, and that seems unfair to you. Alright, whatever, I spend too much time on that. Anyways, so Swamp, one of my favorite places to play, but I prefer not to be on a heavy. I'd rather be in a mobile medium, like a sniping medium or a tank destroyer that's sneaky, scout maybe. I do like the heavy brawl in the castle, if it's all fair and fun. But generally I am undergunned and I don't last too long, so it is what it is. I'm caught out in the middle. I decided to fix my ammo rack instead of my track there, but finally we get the track on. You see my spaced armor is not big enough to just absorb those shells. They're hitting my actual like armor plates above the spaced armor, so finally get into some cover, and I want to stay along this ridge line, so if they want to come get me, they have to drop in. Plus it kind of gives me some cover from the Skoda. So the Skoda's looking for shots on me, and he misses his first shot. I'm able to shut him down. The gun on here is very nice, I like it. I mean, it's Russian, so it's high alpha, questionable gun handling, but generally this thing's a brawler, so you're going to be up close and personal. And we put a heat round in for the C75. We're going to shoot at the lower plate. Sure enough, we get that in. And it is 8-5. A lot of my team did not pay attention to the map, and they took forever to push through the castle. We're able to shut that Italian tank down. Let him know that I'm reloading. And the waffle hits me, and I think the waffle's gonna go for my tank destroyer over there. but then the E75 kills my T95, so the Waffle just comes over and gets a shot into me. 11-9. Definitely not too thrilled about this. We're kind of spread out. We do have cap pressure on though, so we're gonna force them to make a move. However, I don't think our positioning is ideal. But I don't know where all their tanks are either. So it looks like they're just as spread out. So we should be okay. The 257 grind, I'm going to say it's a lot like the STI grind. I don't think there's many bad tanks on the line. Honestly, the IS-3 is better than the KV-4. Like I talked about in the previous video, the KV-4, in my opinion, wasn't a bad tank. It's very noob friendly. The IS-3 is even better tank. So tier 8, you get a more enjoyable tank than the KV-4, and then the 257. From what I've played, I haven't played a ton of games in it, but it's fine. It's a good tank. It's a good heavy tank. It's got the trolley, angled armor, spaced armor. Get you some laughs every now and then. So how do we do? 2100 damage, 500 assisted, 700 blocked. So it didn't block as much as I wanted to. And then XP earned is 989. So it's a fairly good game for the competition. See if we can string some other ones together and get the 257 into the final 4 or 6. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so this one's tier 10 match on Siegfried line. And Siegfried line, I'd love to be in my heavies. If I am in a scout or a sneaky medium tank, I'll play the field. The field is very important if you can push it out. If you get stalemated out there though, I feel like it's stagnant and you can't really make a big impact in the game. But if you can push it out and get a crossfire going into the city, then it is a beatdown. So we'll see how the game progresses here. We do have our scout moving into the field right away, which is awesome. And a lot of people like to take this 0 line location. I'm not a big fan just because you can't really progress down it anyways. Plus, in Russian heavies, you don't have the spotting that you do in other heavy tanks. Not to mention, I do have a 75% crew, so that doesn't bode very well. You can see the vision camo cone versus circle on this. It's not very great. However, we are running binos and toolbox and rammer in all these tanks, and then we're running 75% crews. So if you just joined in, that's kind of the competition that we're doing for all the tier 9 heavy tanks. I bought them all back. Now I'm poor, so I'm trying to manage the silver across all of them. And then we're mainly looking at damage, XP earned, block damage, and what was another one? And assist damage. So out of those 4, the best ones of each class are going to get pushed into the final 4, and then I might have like 2, maybe just wild cards, wins and kills. Will be 5 and 6, and those 2 will play off against each other to make it into the tournament, and then seed 1 maybe have a bye. I don't know. It's a lot of thinking. I've obviously thought about too much of it. So nothing came down the 8 line, which is pretty sad. I like the crossfire there. This FV202 is way over pushed, and then he jumps off the edge and dies. So looking to figure out where we can get some shots in, and hopefully we'll have some shots here. Try to side scrape, and I don't realize that there's a pile of garbage, mainly because I usually don't play this. And we'll just slap 1,000 damage on that E4. Ammo rack him, pop his head off. Ain't no thing. And we're gonna look for shots in the field. And there we go, there's a patent. Now you see the aim time and the bloom on this is pretty sad. Try to lead him here, get a shot. Sure enough, we get it right in the side. It's a good shot. And now these are pretty much just free shots on these guys, so we're gonna stay here. You see that they got stalemated, so they pushed to the E1 line, E1 position, which I like a lot. But if you have nobody giving you cover fire, then you can't really push through the field. And you can see that we pretty much just positioned in K5, so we're able to just pretty much hold them in the middle of the map. And as long as we take city, we're going to absolutely destroy these guys. Alright, so it's 6-0. Trying to pick up the pace a little bit, that way I can get some more damage. There's a grill kind of on Overwatch here. Apparently he doesn't realize that I'm looking at him. Wasn't sure how much of his tank I could see, but I could see his turret, so we take a shell from him. We really don't care at this point. We're going to absolutely stomp their heads in. So I just want to try to get as much damage as possible. If I have to trade, I'll trade. We'll come around the corner, and unfortunately we don't get a full pen into him, but we do get the kill, pick up a little bit more damage, and then this scrub hole gets a shot into me. Able to get a full pen into him. We don't kill him, but that's fine. GG, we just 15-0 the red team. That's pretty good. So we ended up with 3,000 damage. It was kind of a boring game to watch. I got lucky that I ammo racked that E4, and it puts me on top. So far we're doing 5,100 damage, almost 52. 700 assisted, 1,800 blocked, 2,200 XP earned, which are very good. If we can string a third game together here, this thing is looking to be in the final four for sure. So no spoiler alerts. I won't tell you how the game ends on game 3. Alright, so we are big dogs, and we are on Sand River. I love the 1 line and the K line. However, that doesn't seem to be the meta right now. Except if I'm in the south. Like, if I spawn in the southern spawn, and I head down the K line, lately, it's just been the whole northern team goes down there and absolutely all-ins me, destroys me, and then puts pressure on our cap. Which this only has 1 cap, so this play style or this game style obviously isn't what I'm talking about. But when each team has a cap, they'll put pressure on the cap, and then that'll force my teammates off the mountains in B9, because everybody likes to go up in the mountains of B9 and sit there and snipe and pick up a lot of damage, and then complain about getting capped when they don't move off the mountains. That's my shtick for this map. Alright, so we do have quite a few tanks, looks like, coming this way. I really could care less. I'm a big dog in my 257. I feel like I should be able to bully anything. The nice thing about this line is that the dunes separate you, so whatever you fight over here is generally going to be a good fight head-to-head, rather than getting shot in the side of the head if you go to the middle. And really, whoever controls the middle of the map needs to have the 1 line, in my opinion, because the guys on the 1 line can get shots into the middle gully, and that makes it difficult to hold the middle. And yes, I know we have nobody in the middle, so that should be a problem, but we do have a lot of tanks heading up to the mountains, because the mountains are so important. Like, if you want to be in a position where you don't shoot your gun for the first 3 minutes, go to the mountains and stay there. You could also say, well, Mav, you really haven't shot your gun either, so you went on a long drive. And you're right, I have. But generally there are a few more tanks that pop up down here. So I'm going to try to get unspotted. Not sure exactly what they have going on. Looks like they're spread out. They're not really pushing the K line. So we're going to pop up here, looking for a shot in the Charioteer. And then, of course, we take a shot. I'm not sure what that was from. And I've had enough. I'm going to go down there. Try to say cover me, instead I say need to target. So I go back on and say cover me. I'm hoping that these guys will all in me, and then my teammates behind me will be able to just chop them up. And the 705 is looking to come come over or just looking to keep my team spotted. And the way they're playing, I just feel like they have no help. I think it's just them guys. And then if you look at the mini-map, they actually did send a ton up to the mountain. So this 705 decides to turn his armor towards me. And since he just shot, I'm going to shoot the ISU 152. And my Yazi comes over, kills the 152, and now the 705 has to decide what he wants to do. So he decides that he wants to shoot the Yazi. We're going to get shot into the side of the 705. And I don't know how we lost the mountain when our whole team went up to the mountains. I mean, they sent a lot of tanks up there as well, but to me, it's like one of the slowest standoff positions. So I don't know why they won it so handedly. I mean, our team must have just over pushed and not had crossfire angles. So unfortunately, it's 4-8. And we have 2 people defending the cap. I'm hoping that these guys will come back with me because we do have to defend the cap. So we'll see what they do. A lot of the times they'll just continue to push on. At least the medium gave me an affirmative. And we are going to be caught out in the open if we drive over this dune. But I feel like shortcutting it will maybe get me in a better position to help the tank destroyer and the heavy tank. Well, never mind. The heavy tank just died, but see if we can get some shots here. There's a Pershing sitting there. We're going to try to lead him with the shell out. Sure enough, we're able to shut him down. So we get to 6-9. And now they're starting to put some cap pressure on. So I have to go. Even if I have to take some hits to get there, I have to try to get into like C1. But now I realize, you know what, I'm probably not going to make it. So I'm going to try to duck into the middle. And then defend myself there, and if I can, I'll skirt over the E3 line, and then we will try to move towards the cap. Unfortunately, I take a huge T30 shell. I give it GG because there's a T54E1 right here, and if he is shooting heat rounds, he will have no problem going through my front. If he's shooting AP rounds, he might struggle a little bit. We'll see what he's got. Okay, bounce that one. Pens that one. I get a shell into him. He backs up. It looks like he's aiming at my lower plate, so he knows what he's doing. Shuts me down, and I think we just picked the wrong flank. We picked the wrong flank and we didn't push it hard enough. Had we just pushed it out, killed those 2, and then got back to the base before our team died, I think we might have stood a better chance and pulled that off. So unfortunately for the 257, we are not going to pull 3 games down. So that's obviously going to affect the XP earned. However, it wasn't a terrible game with 2,000 damage. Only 300 blocked though, so that could have been better. Our last teammate falls, the Persian goes down, and that is a defeat. So look at the endgame stats here and compare, see how we've done so far. Huge damage. That's gonna be hard to contend with. 72-72. I honestly don't remember if there's a tank that's already beat that or not. 700 assists is pathetic. 2200 blocks is not going to get it done. 2600 XP earned also is probably not going to get it done. Just because if a tank wins 3 times, chances are they're going to destroy that. So 257 might make it with the damage, but probably not going to make it with anything else. But overall, I think this is a fun tank to play. I'd get bored with it. For what reason? Well, it's a little bit better than the IS-3, but not tier for tier in my opinion. Like the IS-3 at tier 8 is stronger than the 257 at tier 9. And then I just think the IS-7 does it better than the 257. So, I mean, the 2 tanks around the 257, I feel like are better tier for tier. So that's why I'd get bored with the 257. I'd just be like, well, I could just jump into the tier 8 that plays better, or the tier 10 that also plays better. But now that I bought it back, I'm going to keep it, and we'll work on it. Hopefully we'll get some games to feature it. It is a pain in the butt to fight against. the armor angles. Once again, we didn't get a city match, so I don't know if Wargaming is just doing that to me on purpose, but looking for some city matches in my tier 9 heavies, and I'm not getting them. But I'll quit babbling. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.